Welcome, dear students. This is Amir Hussain. I hope that you are all fine. And as you know that we are discussing the chapter 4 of history, that is age of industrialization, and in it we have taken up the third topic, that is industrialization in the colonies, with special reference to India. And in the earlier lecture, I have told you that how the process of industrialization was carried out in this India, which was colony of Britain, and we discussed the first subtopic of this industrialization in the colonies, that is age of Indian textiles. The fame, the popularity that the Indian textiles, especially silk and cotton goods, had in the international market before the industrial revolution, before the process of industrialization. We discussed all that, and last point that we discussed is that with the growing power of the European companies, the vibrant trade that India had with the outside world, that was earlier under the control of Indian merchants, now from 1750s started. These merchants from 1750s started losing their control over the trade. Their control started breaking down from 1750s, and the reason was the growing power of European companies. And after that, I told you that the old these some of the old ports, like we have Surat, we have Mesolipatnam and Hooghly, which were earlier prominent ports. Now, with the coming of these European powers, European companies, the old ports lost their importance, they fell into disuse, and in their place, some new ports came into prominence. And among them, I made earlier mention of Calcutta, and second was Bombay. These two ports, important ports, and even some of the earlier ports who have survived, they even came under the control of these European companies, and these European companies completely controlled them, dominated them, and even European ships were used in carrying the goods from the India to the Western world, to the outside world. So, in this context, now, today we are going to discuss, since these changes took place, and these changes had a very profound impact. They have a very profound impact on weavers and artisans. The weavers and the artisans were greatly affected by these changes that took place in the Indian trade from 1750s. So today we are going to discuss how these changes affected the weavers, Indian weavers. We will discuss that, how their lives were impacted, affected by these changes. We will discuss all these things today. So today's topic will be effects of consolidation of East India Company's power, or impact of the consolidation of East India Company's power. We will discuss that. And till it was after 1760s, East India Company, one of the prominent companies which survived, which ousted all other European companies. This company, it started consolidation of power. It started consolidation of power after 1760s. That means after the Battle of Buxar, finally this East India Company started consolidating its power, political power in India. And in the initial years, in the initial years of this political consolidation of the power, this East India Companies, it did not affect, this consolidation did not, of East India Company did not affect, or it did not affect textile export from India. That means the Indian textile export trade was not affected by the consolidation of power of the East India Company in the initial years. That means its impact on Indian trade, Indian especially textile exports, was very small, or it was nothing. You will not find the impact of the consolidation of power of East India Company in the initial years on the Indian export textile trade. And why so? Because there are two reasons. Two reasons are responsible for this, or there are two causes. One, cotton industries in Britain had not expanded. So, first reason was that there was no expansion of cotton industries in Britain at this time. And second was that in Europe, Indian fine textiles were in great demand. These are the two important reasons. First, that cotton industries were not expanded in Britain at this time, and second was that Indian fine textiles were in great demand in Britain, in this Europe में इनकी बहुत ज़्यादा डिमांड थी इंडियन फाइन टेक्सटाइल्स की उस वक्त. इसीलिए ये जो यूरोप ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के अर्लियर ईयर्स कंसोलिडेशन ऑफ पावर के रहे, उसमें आप देखोगे कोई भी इम्पैक्ट, कोई भी इफेक्ट जो है इंडियन टेक्सटाइल एक्सपोर्ट पे नहीं पड़ा. तो यही दो रीजन इसके लिए रेस्पॉन्सिबल थे. सो ड्यूरिंग दीज अर्लियर ईयर्स, इनिशियल ईयर्स, this East India Company, it this focused more and more on expanding textile exports फ्रॉम इंडिया। इसलिए ड्यूरिंग अर्लियर ईयर्स, इन इनिशियल ईयर्स में इस ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी की पॉलिसी जो है वो यही रही कि ये जो टेक्सटाइल एक्सपोर्ट्स इंडिया के थे, जो इंडिया से टेक्सटाइल एक्सपोर्ट्स जा रहे थे, इनको एक्सपैंड किया जाए क्योंकि इनकी डिमांड जो है यूरोप में बहुत ज़्यादा थी। सो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी फोकस्ड ऑन दिस पॉलिसी। This East India Company, East India Company, it established its power, political power, first in Bengal in 1760s. That is after the Battle of Buxar, and after that it established its power in Carnatic, and that was in 1770s. After establishing its political power, it established its political power in these two regions, important regions. But before establishing this political power in these regions, this East India Company, that is around, or you can say before 1750s, this East India Company, it in India faced various problems. What kind of problems? Actually, this East India Company found it difficult to have a regular supply of goods for export. Actually, these goods were mostly silk and cotton goods, which were in huge demand in the Europe. And initially this East India Company, it faced the problem, it faced the difficulty to have or to ensure a regular supply of goods for export के लिए जो goods इसको regularly supply किए जाने थे, जो रेगुलरली ये सप्लाई करता था गुड्स एक्सपोर्ट के लिए, यही सिल्क और कॉटन, इसको बहुत ज़्यादा दिक्कत का सामना करना पड़ रहा था 1750s में इस चीज़ को एंश्योर करने के लिए, बिकॉज इट फेस्ड दिस प्रॉब्लम मोस्टली फ्रॉम इंडियन वीवर्स से ये रेगुलर सप्लाई ऑफ गुड्स एक्सपोर्ट के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा इसको मुश्किल लग रहा था उनसे ये चीज़ एंश्योर करवाना 1750s से. एंड in order to ensure this thing, this East India Company, it finally took various steps. To ensure these things, to ensure the regular supplies of this cotton and silk, that is the goods for export. First important, now we will discuss all these steps taken by the East India Company. First important is the political power. First important is the political power. पहला स्टेप जो है इसने ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी ने यही पॉलिटिकल पावर का ले लिया. सो एंड we will discuss all these steps one by one. So First important setup taken by East India Company to ensure regular supplies of these goods for export was the political power. And actually this company, East India Company, it had to compete with the French, Dutch, Portuguese, and also with local traders, in order to secure own cloth, right? In order to secure the own cloth, actually this company, East India Company, it had to compete with many European companies, and not only with many European companies, but also with the outside with but also with the local traders of India. And this competition, this competition actually gave bargaining power. It gave bargaining power to Indian weavers and supply merchants. Those merchants who were supplying these goods, supply merchants, and also the Indian weavers, they were they got bargaining power through this competition, and because of which they could these Indian supply merchants and weavers, they could sell their produce to the best buyer, because many buyers were available, many people, many these companies, they were available in Indian markets, ये इंडियन मार्केट्स में थे. एंड ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी जो है, ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को इनके साथ compete करना था, और वहाँ पे जो है इस कंपटीशन में बार्गेनिंग पावर जो है वो हासिल था इंडियन वीवर्स को और इंडियन सप्लाई मर्चेंट्स को. और जिसकी वजह से जो ये इंडियन सप्लाई मर्चेंट्स और वीवर्स थे, इनको एक इनको एक अपॉर्चुनिटी थी, इनको एक बेनिफिट था कि ये अपना प्रोड्यूस जो है सेल कर सकते. दे कैन सेल दियर प्रोड्यूस टू सेल दियर प्रोड्यूस टू बेस्ट बायर जो जो इनको लगेगा कि लग रहा था इन कंपनीज में सबसे अच्छी कंपनी उनको अच्छी कीमत दे रही है, ये उसी को ये दे सकते थे. और ये प्रॉब्लम जो है ये फेस करनी पड़ रही थी इस ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को. एंड बिकॉज ऑफ विच क्या हो रहा था इसमें, बिकॉज ऑफ विच दिस कैन आल्सो बी एविडेंट. ये जो ये प्रॉब्लम थी जिसमें आप देखोगे इस ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी वालों को टफ कंपटीशन फेस करना पड़ रहा था, जिसकी वजह से इनको सप्लाईज जो है वो उसके लिए श्योरिटी नहीं थी कि इंडियन मर्चेंट्स, इंडियन ये जो वीवर्स थे वो उनको गुड्स एक्सपोर्ट के लिए देते. तो क्योंकि जो उनको सबसे अच्छी कंपनी जो उनको अच्छी प्राइस देती थी, जहाँ से इनको ऐसा अच्छा पैसा मिल रहा था, वो उसी को अपना प्रोड्यूस सेल कर रहे थे. तो ये जो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी है, ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी की ये जो है दिस हैज़ बिकम आल्सो this evident. This is also evident from the fact that there are letters. There are letters which were sent to London. कुछ लेटर्स हमें मिली हैं जो लंदन को लिखी गई हैं. किन्होंने? इन ही ऑफिशियल्स जो ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी है, ऑफिशियल्स ऑफ ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी, officials of East India Company. They have sent various these letters to the London, and in these letters they have complained. उन्होंने complain किया है. They have complained or they have complained of difficulties which these East India Company faced in terms of the supply and also high prices. As I told you that Indian weavers, Indian supply merchants, they could sell their produce to the best buyers, because of which the competition gave them bargaining power, and also the prices were very high. This resulted in high prices. They were getting profits, high prices from these companies. So this East India Company, it is officials, they have written number of letters to the London, and in these letters they have complained of the difficulties they faced, especially in terms of supply, this regular supplies, as also this high prices. So this is first important reason. And what British did in order to this end this competition. British, this East India Company, it finally established political power. It established political power. It established political power, and through this political power, this East India Company, it asserted a monopoly right to trade. And also, not only this, East India Company also developed, it also tried to develop a system of management and control, ठीक, so that this control and management, it finally eliminated. Why they did so? They do so because they wanted to eliminate the competition that they faced in India. They wanted to end up this competition, and there was one way, that was this establishing political power. And this East India Company finally it established political power, and with political power it asserted a monopoly right. It got a sole right to trade in India. It ousted all other European companies. It became the only company in India to have trade, to have monopoly right over the trade, to have sole right over the trade. And it also developed a system of management and control. इसने एक सिस्टम मैनेजमेंट का और कंट्रोल का एस्टैब्लिश किया, जिसकी वजह से जो है इस सिस्टम की वजह से क्या हुआ, इस सिस्टम की वजह से जो सिस्टम इन्होंने एस्टैब्लिश किया, इस सिस्टम की वजह से आप देख सकते हो कि वहाँ पे एलिमिनेट कंप्लीटली ये जो कंपटीशन फेस कर रहा था ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी को जो कंपटीशन फेस करना पड़ रहा था, इस कंपटीशन को इन्होंने वाइप आउट करने की कोशिश की इस सेटअप के थ्रू, ठीक है ना. एंड दे वांटेड टू कंट्रोल द प्राइसेस. सो दे वांटेड टू कंट्रोल द प्राइसेस आल्सो बाय कंट्रोल प्राइसेस. इन्होंने प्राइसेस को भी कंट्रोल किया इस मैनेजमेंट के थ्रू. एक तो मैनेज किया इस ट्रेड को, दूसरा इन्होंने इसको कंट्रोल भी किया इस कंपटीशन को. अब कंपटीशन जो है, अब कंपटीशन वैसा ही था जैसे ये डायरेक्ट करते, जैसे इन्होंने रेगुलेट किया, अब कंपटीशन वैसे ही जा रहा था. अब इन्होंने इस कंपटीशन को ख़त्म ही करने की कोशिश की ताकि रेगुलर सप्लाईज कॉटन और सिल्क की इनको मिले. So this was first important setup that they took in order to eliminate the competition that they faced. So by this they finally eliminated competition. इन्होंने competition को जो है eliminate कर दिया. So this was first setup. Second setup that they took is elimination of existing traders and brokers. Second important step, that the East India Company, this East India Company, it initiated the policy of eliminating existing traders, supply merchants, and brokers, right? So, and these were associated, these traders and brokers were associated with the cloth trade, these were eliminated. This East India Company took another important step, that is, it initiated the policy, it adopted the policy of eliminating existing traders, supply merchants, and brokers. These traders and brokers, they were associated, they were connected with the cloth trade, so these were also eliminated by the East India Company. And East India Company after that established a direct control. It established a direct control over the weavers. A direct control over the weavers of India was established by the East India Company, and this was also the setup. This was actually to ensure that there was a regular supply of now this goods for the export. Third important step taken by the East India Company was the appointment of Gomastas. Appointment of Gomastas. Again, the purpose was again to ensure this, that there was direct control over the weavers. This East India Company, it wanted to establish direct control over the weavers, and for that they appointed these Gomastas. And who were these Gomastas? Gomastas, these were actually paid servants. These were paid servants. The East India Company, it appointed paid servants, and these paid servants were called Gomastas. And these Gomastas had three functions. Their functions were three important. One was to supervise weavers. Second, this was one. Second, to collect supplies, and third was to examine the quality of cloth. So these were the three important functions of the Gomastas. These Gomastas, इनका काम क्या था? ये Gomastas paid servants थे, इनको पैसा मिलता था. These were agents of East India Company, and East India Company actually wanted to establish a direct control over the Indian weavers, so they appointed these Gomastas. And these Gomastas, they had three important functions. One, to supervise the weavers. इनको वीवर्स को सुपरवाइज करना होता था, उनको देख रेख उनकी करनी होती थी, उनको वॉच एंड वार्ड करना था. सेकंड, कलेक्ट सप्लाईज, इनको सप्लाईज वहाँ से लेनी पड़ती थी, जो सप्लाईज प्रोड्यूस हो रही थी वीवर्स से वो भी इनको लेनी पड़ती थी वहाँ से। एंड थर्ड वाज टू एग्जामाइन द क्वालिटी ऑफ क्लोथ्स, ये जो है क्लोथ क्वालिटी थी, क्वालिटी कपड़ों की देखना, हाँ, इसको एग्जामाइन करना, ये भी इनका काम, इम्पॉर्टेंट काम था, इम्पॉर्टेंट फंक्शन इनकी यही थी। So this is all about the second important this function, this third important the step taken by the East India Company